Adding integers. Well, how do I add integers? I'm going to show you three methods today using counters and the tug line. Once you get good at this, you'll find you can pretty much do these mentally and you won't need to use these strategies anymore. And if you're good at adding integers, subtraction is really easy as well. So the first method is the counter method. And you could use counters to solve these different problems here. The first one, I've got positive 3. And then to that, I'm adding positive 4. And a positive 3 and a positive 4 would be positive 7. That's pretty easy. If you had a negative 2 and you added a negative 3 to it, you would have 5 negatives, so negative 5. If you had negative 2 plus a positive 5, what you're going to find in this example is that 2 of the negatives and 2 of the positives are going to cancel each other out. So these cancel each other out, and you're left with 3 positive. If you were doing negative 6 plus a positive 4, same thing. 4 of the positives and 4 of the negatives are going to cancel each other out. So here's my negative 6 plus positive 4. These are going to cancel each other out, and you're left with negative 2. Now, this is not a very practical method because what if you encounter this question? What's negative 2,234 plus 855? That's just way too many counters to deal with. Just a little reminder that 8 plus negative 5, I can write this two different ways. This is 8 plus negative 5 in parentheses. This is the exact same thing. No difference. Okay, now this next method, the tug line, I kind of like this method. And like I mentioned, you really won't need it after you get good at adding integers. So what is a tug line? Well, this is what it looks like right here. This is a picture of a tug line. And how do I use it? Okay. In this first example, we have negative 3 plus positive 7. The tug line is really useful in organizing the numbers. So we had a negative 3, so we place it here on the negative side. We had a positive 7, we place it on this side. And it's called a tug line because it's like a tug of war. And when you have numbers on each side, we have a tug of war. And when you have a tug of war, you subtract the two numbers. So 7 minus 3 is 4. Which side had more numbers on it? 7 had more numbers, so this would be positive 4. The answer would be positive 4. In the next example, we had a positive 3, so we placed it over here. Plus negative 7, we placed that over here. Do we have a war? Yes. So we subtract the two, 7 minus 3. Now, which side was stronger in this tug of war? Well, there were more players on this side, so the answer is actually negative 4 to that question. Now, what happens if you don't have players on both sides? So let's look at these two examples. 3 plus 7. So we take the 3, put it on the positive side, plus a positive 7. We don't have a tug of war. And when you only have players on one side, you just add them together. And they're both on the positive side, so the answer is positive 10. Here we have the reverse. We have negative 3 plus negative 7. There's no tug of war, so we just add these two together. They were all on the negative side, so the answer is negative 10. If you get an answer of positive 4, you don't need to put the positive sign in front of it. We know this is positive 4. Okay, let's do a couple more tug line examples. So here's 8 plus negative 4. I'm going to put an 8 on the positive side, negative 4 on the negative side. Do we have a war? Yes, we have players on both sides. So we do 8 minus 4 is 4. Which side was stronger? Well, there were more players on this side, so the answer is positive 4. In the next example, we have negative 7 plus negative 7. Do we have a war? No, we do not. Both are on one side of the tug line, so we just add these together, which is 14. They were both on the negative side, so it's negative 14. In the next example, we have negative 12. I'm going to put it on this side, plus positive 6. Do I have a war? Yes. When we have a war, we subtract. 12 minus 6 is 6. Which side was stronger? Well, there were more players on this side. That's negative 6 is our answer. In the next example, we have negative 3 plus a positive 3. Do we have a war? Yes. So we subtract. 3 minus 3 is 0, and our answer is just 0. Okay, let's do just a few more tug line examples. Here we have negative 25 plus negative 8. Do I have a war? No. So I just add these together. They were both on the negative side, so the answer to that is negative 33. Here we have negative 26 plus positive 10. Do I have a war? Yes. So I subtract. 26 minus 10 is 16. Which side was stronger? The negative side had more players. It's negative 16. Negative 40, I'm going to place it on the negative side. Positive 52 on the positive. Do I have a war? Yes. So when I have a tug of war, I'm going to subtract the 2. Which side was stronger? There were more players on the positive side. It's positive 12. We'll just do a couple more here. 82 goes on the positive side. Negative 20 on the negative side. Do we have a war? Yes, we do. Oops. 82 minus 20, 62. Which side was stronger? The positive side was stronger. It's positive 62. 36 goes on the negative side. 22 on the positive side. Do we have a war? Yes. So when we have a war, we subtract. Which side was stronger? In this example, there were more on the negative side, so it's a negative 14. Now, I don't really use a tug line, but I will sometimes use it when I have a lot of numbers that I have to add, a lot of integers I have to add, and it helps me to organize the numbers. So in number 6, this isn't a lot of numbers, but we have 7. We have negative 34. We have 7. So we have 14 on this side, 34 on this side. Do we have a war? Yes. 34 minus 14 is 20. Which side was stronger? This side had more players on it, so it's negative 20. In the next example, we had negative 21. Oops, I skipped the 8. Let's get the 8 on this side. And it appears to be a negative 7. So let me add these up. So we have 28 on this side. We have 8 on the positive side. Do we have a war? Yes. So 28 minus 8 is 20. Which side was stronger? The negative side had more players. So it's negative 20. Negative 9 plus positive 43 plus negative 17. So we have 26 on the negative side, 43 on the positive. Do we have a war? Yes. So we're going to subtract. We get 17. Which side was stronger? The positive had more players on its side, so it's positive 17. So that's pretty much how you use the tug line. Now, as I mentioned, once you get good, you won't need to use a tug line. You'll be able to do these in your head. And when I'm adding integers, I actually think of poker. And let me show you what I mean. So I would actually do these mentally. Let's say that on the first hand, I lost $15. On the next hand, I lost $4 more. Well, I lost overall $19. In this example, I won $8. Then I lost $2. Overall, I won $6. Here, I lost $8. I won $1 back, so I'm only down $7. Here I lost $12 plus I lost another 12. I lost $24. In this example I won 8, but then I lost 7 of those dollars that I just won. I only won $1. Here on the first hand I lost $5, but on the second hand I won 14. Overall I won $9. And in my last two examples here, I lost $9, I lost another 12, I lost $21 overall. And last but not least, I won $28, but then I lost 8. So overall, I won $20. So there's 3 different methods. You have the counter method, and you have the tug line method, and then just solving mentally. And I think once after you've done a number of these adding integers, you'll be solving these in your head as well. So that's how you add integers.